Hi, I'm Christine Tizzard. I'm the three-way chef, and today's ingredient that I'm going to do 3 ways is pomegranates. Pomegranates, it's a pretty seasonal fruit. I mean, for us, I'm usually picking them up around the winter time. They're beautiful, they're really good for you, and besides just eating those beautiful seeds, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to start infusing pomegranate or pomegranate juice into your daily cooking. First thing is that we have to figure out how to get those seeds and the juice out of these pomegranates, and I know there's a couple different ways out there. I'm going to just show you the easiest way for me. It's the fastest, it's the easiest, it's the less messiest, and that's what I do every day, so this is how I do it. I have my pomegranate, I just cut it in half. Easy, right down the middle. I'm going to put it upside down in my hand over a bowl. This is where you want like a really tall bowl, like the highest bowl you can get possibly, because this pomegranate juice could start spraying everywhere with this technique. So yeah, just a nice tall bowl, and I'm gonna get a wooden spoon and I just whack it. And I just keep my fingers open like this, so you can, and the seeds just fall out. And I sometimes get my kids to do this too. It's a fun activity for them, which is great. And I find this the fastest method. I know there's a soaking in water method as well, but I find that when you soak it in water, then any of the juice that's released just gets left in the water, and then you're throwing it away. So this way we're just getting the seeds, and any juice out we can strain off later, which is perfect. So I just keep banging it until we get all the seeds out, and that's pretty good. And if you get any of these little bits of white pith, you can just pick it out pretty easily. If it comes out, it usually comes out in clumps, so it's just easy to just grab them and pick them out. So that's how you get beautiful pomegranate seeds out of your pomegranate, and now we're going to go right into my first recipe for pomegranates. I'm going to make a very simple pomegranate vinaigrette. So I have the beautiful pomegranate seeds out. Sometimes when you get the pomegranate seeds, you get some residual juice here. We're going to be using the juice. If you want to juice a pomegranate, all you have to do is put these in a blender, bash them around for a little bit, and you have freshly strained pomegranate juice. You just strain out the seeds and it's perfect. So first thing I'm just going to make everything in a mason jar. Makes it easy. I'm going to pour in about 4 tablespoons of that juice, and just equal parts pomegranate juice and olive oil, or whatever oil you want to use. So let's just get out some of that juice as much as possible. Perfect. And then we'll do our olive oil. So I'm just going to eyeball it so it looks like it's equal. Good. I'm going to make it a little bit more acidic with some white wine vinegar. Use whatever vinegar you'd like to use. I like the white wine vinegar. It's a little bit milder than, say, a red wine vinegar. So I'm just going to add a little bit, smidge of that, probably about 2 teaspoons. You can taste it after too. We'll salt and pepper it. Really easy pomegranate vinaigrette. And then, of course, I'm going to add in some of these really sweet, beautiful seeds. And then we'll shake it up and we'll taste it. I really love this over grilled vegetables, any type of steamed grain, really. And yeah, this will keep in your fridge for like 5 days. So take it out whenever you want a little bit of pomegranate flavor on something. It tastes really, really good. You could also even add some fresh herbs to this if you wanted to just spice it up a notch. So there you have it, a very easy pomegranate vinaigrette. My second recipe is I'm going to do a pomegranate glazed roast chicken. So the first thing I want to do is make my pomegranate glaze. So I just have a little small sauce pot here. We're going to reduce this a little bit. So I'm going to add my pomegranate juice. I'm going to just throw in 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to add some orange zest, because once again we're using that orange and pomegranate flavor again. And then I was lucky enough to find this at the grocery store. This is pomegranate molasses. It might be a little bit difficult to find, but I'm finding that more grocers and markets and stuff are carrying it. It has a very interesting flavor. It's kind of bitter, it's sweet, it's tart, it's all these beautiful things mixed together. So I'm gonna add that. So I have a 1/4 cup. Now if you don't have this, you could totally add honey or maple syrup. Same kind of thing. This is just really gonna infuse that pomegranate flavor into that glaze. So basically all we have to do now is bring this to a simmer, and I want it to reduce to about half a cup. I want to thicken it up before we glaze our chicken, so I'm just going to pop this on and let this reduce. So our glaze is just reducing a little bit, so I have that bubbling away, and now I'm going to deal with these chicken breasts. So these are really great bone-in, skin-on chicken breasts. We're going to roast these. I've already salt and peppered both sides. You always want to make sure you season all the sides of your meat and poultry. And I'm going to infuse these little guys with a little bit more flavor. So I just made a very simple compound butter. I typically do a tablespoon of butter per chicken breast, and this is just mixed in with some pureed garlic and some fresh thyme. And I'll take like a good tablespoon, and I'm gonna put it under the skin. So you wanna start with the thickest part, not the thinnest part, and you just weave your little fingers underneath the skin and put that butter under there. And that's gonna self-baste your chicken while it's cooking away, which is great. That's exactly what we want, more flavor. And you can do anything with this compound butter. You could add your own dry herbs, fresh herbs, different spices, whatever you want. I'm just keeping it really simple because we have that pomegranate glaze, which is gonna be like really robust in flavor. So there, those are gonna be good to go. I kind of just like to press out the butter under the skin so it gets all the way through. Just like so. And here I have some of that kind of glaze, that pomegranate glaze that I made earlier. And I'm gonna give the chicken like a once over baste before we pop it in our oven. So I have my temperature, the oven is 375. We're gonna cook these guys, basting every 10 to 15 minutes. And we want the internal temperature to be 160 is usually when I take my chicken out, and then I let it rest for a good 10 minutes, and then that increases to 165, and you have perfectly cooked chicken breasts. So into the oven, these little guys go. So those should take about 20 minutes. Just want to check them every now and then. You want to keep glazing them and building on that flavor. And when you're done, you're going to have some beautiful roast chicken breasts that look like this. You could see all that caramelization of that pomegranate molasses and all that pomegranate juice. And I just garnished it really simply with pomegranate seeds and some pistachios. And there you go. You have your pomegranate glazed roast chicken breasts. They smell so good. My third recipe is a pomegranate panna cotta. Panna cotta sounds super fancy. You have it in restaurants. It's really, really easy to make at home, so I'm going to show you how to do it. The first thing I'm going to do is I took some pomegranate juice. You can either buy pomegranate juice or do what we did before, where I banged out the pomegranate. Take your own pomegranate juice, 3 tablespoons. I'm just going to add to a separate sauce pot. And what sets a panna cotta is gelatin. I mean, there's lots of different types of gelatin out. Well, there's not lots of different types of gelatin out there, but you can get organic gelatin. You can just get regular gelatin. This is unflavored gelatin, and I'm gonna add a half of one of these pouches, which is typically 1 tablespoon. And I'm gonna sprinkle that over top. So we're gonna let that gelatin sit in the pomegranate juice, 3 tablespoons of pomegranate juice, and let that bloom just for a minute, and then we'll get our milk started. So here is 1 cup of heavy cream, 35% cream. I'm gonna add half-half, so a half a cup of half and half. I'm gonna turn this on to a nice medium heat. We'll add our sugar, 3 tablespoons, not super sweet. I don't like my panna cotta super sweet. I'm gonna add orange zest, so zest of half an orange, which I'm just gonna zest over top. I love the combination of orange and pomegranate. It's a great combination. And whenever you're zesting the fruit, you just want the zest like this. You don't want that, which I almost started to do there. So you don't want the pith, because the pith, this part, the really white stuff's really bitter, so you just want the zest. So we'll let that orange flavor infuse, and then this is not only a pomegranate panna cotta, it's a pomegranate rosemary panna cotta. this recipe calls for 1 sprig of rosemary, but this 1 sprig of rosemary is gigantic. So just use your own kind of judgment when it comes to this. This is obviously like a rosemary sprig on steroids. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of rosemary to that. And I'm also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you wanna stir this, letting that sugar dissolve. Let this cream come up to a first boil. And then you just want to turn it off and kind of just let it steep for a bit. Or you can keep it on a super low simmer. But you do want to let those flavors infuse into the milk. The flavors of the vanilla, the flavor of the orange, the flavor of that rosemary. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to turn that really small sauce pot of gelatin, because it's been about a minute now. So what I want to do is I want to put this over a really low heat, and I'm just going to let that gelatin dissolve. And just watch it. It dissolves really quickly. So our milk has steeped with those great flavors. We have the pomegranate juice with the gelatin. I'm just going to add that to that. Really easy, breezy. Give that a mix. And then I'm going to strain this over top here to get all of those little bits out. So we have our rosemary and pomegranate panna cotta that we're just going to pour into whatever molds you have around, even if you have like little wine glasses or martini glasses, anything. The only thing I have to say is that if you do want to unmold them like they do in the restaurants, you just want to grease your mold so it'll flip out once you do that. So just give it a spray or a brushing or whatnot, and I'll just pour these into my little molds. And there you have your little pomegranate and rosemary infused panna cottas. You want to put these in the fridge to chill at least 4 hours. This will make anywhere between 3 and 4. And when you're done, let me show you what you're going to have. You're going to have these super cute little panna cottas that were really easy to make, perfect for, you know, if you have a little dinner party or anything like that. Just garnish it with some extra pomegranate seeds, a little sprig of rosemary, and I want to taste one of these. And see, and this is the one that I unmolded, so so nice and creamy. It's really nice. You just get a hint of the pomegranate juice and the wonderful floral, woodsy kind of taste of the rosemary. It's so nice. So pomegranates 3 ways. I did a simple pomegranate vinaigrette. We did a pomegranate glazed roast chicken. We did pomegranate panna cotta. My favorite way to eat pomegranates is just eating the pomegranate seeds like right from a bowl with a spoon. But there's so many different things you can do with pomegranates. So if you like what you saw today and you want, oh, thanks. If you like what you saw today and you have an ingredient or recipe you want me to do 3 ways, let me know. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment. I love your comments, and I'm gonna spend some time eating my pomegranate seeds, which are so good. I love how they just like burst in your mouth.